Hello and welcome back everyone. The back engines are assembled, and to be honest, after thinking about it and looking at it, I'm not really content with what progress we have as far as the cockpit area in that back section, so I think I'm going to remove that section now and try again, because I was playing around with the idea a bit there, and I didn't like at least the center portion. The engines and the side components there I'm still uncertain of. It's just a matter of how it's going to look once I get rid of all those components. I don't think it's going to look too terribly bad. We just got this little component sticking on the back, and we have this rough edge here that needs to be flushed out, so there is a bit of an issue with that, just a tiny bit. But how else do I feel about this? The side components are a little bit detached with here, so I kind of would like that to kind of stick together. The real question is, if I move this, well, if I move, where is it? I'm trying to find a component. Okay, so I was gonna say if I move this, would it attach with that or not? It does not look like it will, which is gonna be a bit unfortunate. Unless I can group them together. That's my only hope, I think. If I can group them together, then we're good. Nope, they do not group together. Never mind that thought process. So, if I'm gonna move it, I have to move both components, which is gonna stink. So now it's time to brainstorm or theorycraft a little bit what will work better if I were to try and adjust this here. Because if I moved it out, then that component's gonna stick out. It's gonna look a little bit sore some-ish. So I don't think I like that. I can't even remember what the axes and everything are. So that's a bit of a problem too, isn't it? Just a little bit. Well, it looks like I could just bring it down. I got the same measurements as down below, so hopefully that's where it was. How do I work with this though? I think really a simple way to fix that is maybe a tiny shell piece on the side to kind of add a little bit more lighting possibly. Only problem is that I want to make sure, okay, there we go. I want to make sure that there's only one on each side. So maybe if I do this right. Only problem is that back portion I don't think I'm fond of, so would flipping around be better? Honestly, first opinions are probably not. Not that it looks like it. Although that lane could work pretty well there if it were to push were to come to shove there, but I don't think that's gonna do. So I might have to, so ways I think this can work is if I rotate inward. Kind of like, well, proper rotation is always helpful. And then probably stretch it out a tiny bit. See if that does it. It looks like a weird padding. I don't know if I like the idea of it. But it could fit in there relatively well if I do this right. If I do this right, I'm not sure. Gonna have to adjust the scale a bit more and try. Maybe I can even adjust the set axis and that'll help some. So how does that seem? It's not bad. It's not perfect. But it gives more lighting and it's sort of seamless. Only tiny exception is this little portion here maybe. That's the only tiny exception I have with it. So can I throw something on there to kind of fix that? Maybe. To some tiny extent. Probably not, if I were to guess. Ideally, I want this to kind of like fit in there, although I'm not sure if that, because really all I want is for it to be like a nice, keep a consistent theme there if I'm gonna go with this. Because that's not bad there, I just need something along here. Because that's a bit of a bald spot it feels like, so it doesn't seem optimal. Now, just a question if I want to rotate and adjust it in any way. And how is that going to look after I do that adjustment? Because the lane there is now going to sink into that portion, which may not be the most ideal. So that could be a bit of a problem. I was hoping there'd be an nice, easy way to kind of connect in there. Apparently, it does not really work that way. Is there a way I can flush in a little bit more? Maybe if I rotate some more, a little bit differently, and just try and get rid of that metal trim there. It's not going to be possible because it doesn't seem quite possible. Because that metal frame is going to be there no matter what, so I might be stuck with that. So it's just to minimize possible texture discrepancy if I'm going to go with this. Just a little bit. I just don't know what I'm looking for. Do I just want to move it back? Move it forward or what? Because it sticks out if I do it in the back, which might not be a bad thing. It helps alleviate a little bit of the illusion there to some extent. And this metal trim actually has a nice little consistent or synergy with this component's metal frame at least, but it just ends roughly there. So how does it look on the front? Okay, it's not drastic. It probably will do. Yeah, I'll probably have to do there. At least it's an improvement to some extent. Probably not most ideal not the most ideal situation, but hey, I'm working with limited parts after all. Now, I want to figure out an actual cockpit. How the hell am I going to do that? Because the idea I had afterwards was maybe connecting it to the front instead of way in the back. I just don't know how it's going to look like if I were to put a cockpit piece there. So let's give it a try and see, shall we? I'm gonna have to shrink this or narrow down this component some. Kind of narrow it, I think, like this, to some extent, to see how well that pokes out if I put it in somewhere in the front. Or hell, even if I want to put it up on top, is that good? Is that ideal or not? The problem is that metal trim. I really absolutely hate this stupid metal trim. It's really oversized, it feels like. And to have the cockpit sticking out like that doesn't seem very effective. Because it's barely noticeable a cockpit or command area, quite frankly. At least in my opinion. I'm not really fond of it. What happens if I adjust the scaling down and shrink it? And then move that up. Does that help to an extent? Not really, because it means less wiggle room. The only problem is if I make it too big, this tail kind of starts sticking out, so let's adjust the set axis, see how that works. That's a little bit better. It's starting to feel like a bomber of some kind. A gigantic, massive bomber of a battlecruiser. Gotta find something else to work with it. I'm just not sure what. Because what I would like is if I could find some clever way to make that stick out. To some extent. I don't think this component's going to do any better, but it was the component I originally tried. We'll see if this is any better, and obviously it's way too big. I don't think I need to tell you that. So we're going to shrink this. We're actually going to narrow it first, see how that looks. And then shorten it. Because maybe if it's still an idea to kind of put something behind it there, because this back portion still needs some kind of filling out, and I kind of been wondering if this ship is too thin. Because I was looking at it and the Guardian there, it seems like it's a lot thinner than the Guardian, but it does have more length going for it if I were to compare the two. I'm just not sure how to get the best way to get this cockpit to show. Unless I rotate it, can I rotate back some? Will that help some? I'm not sure, because now the cockpit's going to sink in to some extent. I don't know. Yeah, we got this odd trim there, so I kind of need to narrow it. Not shorten it, narrow it. See if that helps to an extent. And how's that starting to look? Not bad. It's kind of a weird command center, though, I do have to say. That is a little bit of an issue. Especially with the metal trim there kind of sinking in the back. And of course, this little tail here sticking out too if I have it too high. And too short, that starts picking out, or sticking out. The cockpit's not really the best either, isn't it? I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I feel so limited in my cockpit choices. Which was kind of the reason why I want to experiment with using different cockpit areas, so I may have to try it again. Opening the floodgates, let's see if I can have better luck this second time or not. So, once it's done loading and rendering everything, I don't know what it's trying to do. We'll see if this works. There we go. Now type, find the cockpits again, and see if we can have better luck. I am a little bit put off because of these colorings, because look at this. I somehow have it in my mind that this would turn out green for some reason, but nope. It actually has the proper colors, so let's see if these components can work for me. They're going to be different, that's for sure, which is a bit of an issue unless I can do this right. Because this component's not too bad. It's set up in a way it can stick out there and can attach something to the back. The problem is it's kind of like a odd shape that's not really going to connect with any of the Iconium pieces I have been using all this time before. Can I make this small enough though? Or even better question, can I put like a second cockpit area on behind it to kind of continue to extend the design? Maybe I can extend this somehow. I'm not exactly sure how, because actually that looks better than this component. Actually, let me try both of them together. We're gonna get a little creative, and at least attempt to be creative. I just gotta find a good connection point for it, damn it. It's not making it easy for me. There we go. Now, is there any way I can connect this in? I might need to invert it. Hell, that's also an idea, kind of flipping around. There we go. That is kind of obviously upside down a little bit, because I dislike that. And if I invert this colors, that's a bit of an eyesore. Not to mention you're going to burn someone's retinas out with that glare, jeez. Never mind that thought process, but let's see, can that connect as like a second portion behind there? The coloring is a bit off though. A little bit off, I don't like that technically. Yeah, it's not really shaped properly unless I do it another way. Can it just fit in from behind there? I doubt it's going to work the way I would like though, because these look like they're all meant to be like nose portions of the ship. Which, come to think of, is that okay if I use this directly in the front somehow? Am I okay with the fact that the command center is blocked by two giant massive cannons, that they can't actually see anything else going on? Am I okay with that stupid thought process? I am honestly not sure. And now, the real trick is how to make that work. And what are these other cockpit components? This is just a silly dome. Nothing exciting about this, so it seems. That's just a simple little top piece. Maybe that can work. Looking through all these pieces is going to take forever. Oh, that's dumb. I attached the pieces together, so I'm going to have to fix that and hide that last component. A little unnecessary, but hey. Just the consequence of trying new things. You make it very sloppy and messy until you work out the kinks. And then hopefully next time will look a lot better. But still, we have this issue with this metal trim, which is a bit, sticks out a bit. Unless I wine it. Maybe if I can wine it to a point where it connects it. Problem is it winds quite a bit, so unless I can get a natural size where it may not be an issue. And then it starts intruding in there, so maybe not. Maybe not. The last thing I want to do is spend an entire video trying to figure out a cockpit. But it may eventually turn into that. Because what the hell is this component? What the hell is this? What is all this crap? In fact, this looks better than this front portion I've been playing with, so let's do that. If it'll... There we go. If it'll let me select it, I was one. There we go. Let's try this again, shall we? I apologize. This is gonna go on forever. I have so many new toys to play with. The possibilities are now endless. Almost endless. And this is also upside down. We don't want that. Fix it. There you go. That's not a bad shape. Again, the concept is this thing is going to be smack dab in the middle of two massive cannons. Am I okay with that? Probably not. Unless I could find some way to kind of make it work. If it doesn't seem too bad otherwise. How does it work functionally? I do not know, though. I cannot answer that question, I'm sorry, so don't ask. But if we sink it in there a little bit to kind of like make it not as apparent that's different, maybe that can help a tiny bit. And it's also off-centered some. I'm getting this feeling. So we'll adjust the set axis to stretch it back. I think that's the set axis. So that way we can get rid of the metal trim on back. And what we need to do is make sure that cockpit area doesn't seem to be sink into the ship needlessly. We need kind of like the entire thing sticking out if that's entirely possible. Nope. Does not look like it. Not without the metal trim coming back out again. So this is a bit of a problem. So I'm gonna have to be content with a half-finished cockpit. Or so it'll seem. Otherwise, not too shabby there. Textures do stand a little bit, it seems. Because there seems to be a coloration difference for some reason. Just need to kind of flush this out with some Kryclon components. And work from there, I guess. Okay, took us a while. Hopefully that's better than nothing. Compared to the other... Well, I thought I turned it off, damn it. Yeah, I thought I did turn it off. It just didn't bother to turn it off for me. Thanks for that. Thanks for that again. Now, what would be a good way to fill this out? Just quickly fill out. I think I already gotta know what component I want. I can either fill two of these components here on the side. Very small though. So that way we hopefully won't have to deal with the metal trim. I just need to connect to the cockpit. Ideally. I'm having issues doing that though. And I don't even know where that's connecting to. That's a bit of a problem. Alright, I guess that's gonna have to do. So rotate it, shrink it, fit into place, and hope that helps flesh it out a little bit, because that is a bit more blockier than what the Iconium pieces are like, so I'm hopeful that can at least alleviate some of that. Although I don't think I want them too big. Because yeah, once the front starts sticking out, that could be a bit of a problem. Just a little bit. Yeah, it's not really much help, is it? A tiny bit, maybe. But I don't think it does a whole lot. Unless I spend some time working on it. So let's see. I'm curious if I could connect these two components together somehow. It requires expanding a bit if I'm going to do that, and these don't seem to be working out very well. Because that's kind of what I want to try for. Connect the pieces together a little more. Make it seem like it's a little more fleshed out. Maybe that'll help a tiny bit. There. There's still that weird texture discrepancy going on that I dislike, but maybe it does something. This is kind of stupid. But then again, that's the process. It does annoy me a little bit. I'm wasting so much time on like trying to figure out a cockpit, but I want to make this look impressive to some extent. Now, am I okay with the back portion? I feel like it's not the best. If I had the options, if I knew what to do, I would remove these components altogether and put something else on there. But as it is, I'm not sure how to improve it. What I am curious about is if I want to shrink this component back down. See if the scaling... Is there any point to have this so wide now? Is there even any point to have this component in general? I'm kind of wondering. Can I hide it? I don't want to delete it because I'm worried about maybe messing something up. So one axis said it's just a metal trim that is trying to hide. It seems like that's what I feel like. So maybe if I turn it around, invert it instead. Wrong kind of inversion. See if that helps. Maybe instead, if I get rid of these tails, would that work better? No, it wouldn't get rid of the metal trim though. That's the only problem. What component do I have selected? Why the hell do I have these components selected? Way in the front. Maybe it's because I clicked down on the bottom. That might be why. Well, I was wondering how I got this component selected. I just hope I didn't ruin anything. That would be annoying. Now we gotta center this thing. Because this, well, I guess it says center is gonna be, which is gonna be annoying. Because there is that tiny deviation. That's what I get for using this invisible component here. Come to think of it, I could just use the cockpit now, couldn't I, as like a reference point. Well. It shouldn't be too bad. I'm just wondering what I want to do. I could connect the middle frame like that. I need to get rid of the bottom. Somehow get rid of that bottom metal trim. I'm not liking it. And have this at least connected together. Maybe to some extent. I don't think that helps too much though. I'm not really fond of it. I don't think I'm fond of it anyway. Well, it is progress. Is there anything else I would like to do? I kind of want to just fill out this back somehow. I'm just not sure how. Because these block components were not to my liking. But the engines work well, so maybe I could just fill it by connecting this middle components with something. I'm just not sure with what. That is the only thing I'm not really certain about. Because none of these engines are to my liking, because I kind of don't care for them too much. I kind of do like these engines. Because this is one missing component there. It could fit. Yeah, I could get away with it being like a power core of some kind. It's just the wrong place for it, as far as I'm concerned, for power core. Unless I can cover it up respectably well, because this component worked out well for like some of the lighting. So maybe I'll do that. I just need a component where I only have, or a location where there's only one of them. So there, did that do it? I think that's the best I'm gonna get. Now let's see what happens if I scale it down and fit into place. Would that work? Have like the little cover there. Kind of like what I did with, I think it was the Watcher. I can't remember which ship it was, where I have it covering over like the power source. Since it's hollow on the inside, it feels like a natural cap. I just don't know if that does it. Because it looks like it needs to be rotated somewhat. And then, if maybe it won't work out very well if I rotate back into place, because something will start sticking out possibly. That's my big concern there. Like I'm starting to see a little bit. That's kind of okay. What happens if I stick it out some? Like, that's the issue I'm having there. Maybe if I do the SID scaling, maybe that won't be as bad. Yeah, it's not as bad anyway. Just a little bit. Let's try this angle, and that'll be probably it. It helps some alleviate. It helps alleviate it. It worked before. It's just because this thing's probably too big, quite frankly. That might be the issue I'm having. Of course, because of the rotation, I don't think that works. Is there another component I can use? Oh, actually, there is. Can I somehow use this component to do that? I gotta find a good spot to connect it where I'm guaranteed to only get one of them. There, that's centered. This is a lot more straighter, so I won't have to rotate the theory is, and that should work. Let's find out, shall we? Because it is not really, it's not perfectly circular. That's the only minor issue with it, so something's going to probably stick out some. It's just the real question is if I can work with that. I think we should be good there, possibly. Now, do I want to flip it upside down or not? It's going to be a bit weird because of these, like, circular pieces there, so I could fix that with another component. Is there a simple way to fix that, though? I don't think it is all that much. Because now we're just rehashing what I did before, it feels like. Just a little bit, but at least this component, this time, should be smaller. A lot smaller, so it won't be as noticeable. That's the hope, anyway. We'll see when I get into place. Because I don't need as long. I just want to kind of round it out. I don't even care about this, the tip or the end of it, if I can help it. We'll see, because that just ruins what I've been working towards, so... Scaling obviously is an issue here. So, can this work at all? I don't think it can, actually. Unless I'm doing something wrong. Yeah, something's wrong here. I don't think I can do it with that, so much for the idea. What can I use? I don't think there's really anything I can use aside from maybe like storage blocks, but of course that's such a rough finish that's gonna stand out. That's the only problem with that. Maybe these components will work good here. Since it didn't work before, they could fit better here. I don't think they work. This seems like I'm just trying to band-aid it. Just put a band-aid on the problem, which I don't think I like. And yes, it's sticking a little bit, so let me try and adjust. Okay, am I okay with that? It helps alleviate some. And there is a line there, actually, conveniently behind it, so that looks like it can fit as potentially all want the same component. To an extent. Just need to center this, and I think we're good. Maybe? I think we're good. I like to think we're good. It's not perfect, though, but I think we're good. Maybe just a tiny bit, possibly. I'm not sure. I'll leave it as can be because it looks good on top. It's okay on the bottom, so I'm not going to be too picky. We have probably tactically the worst position for cockpit there, and even then it's a little bit rough because the sides of it go right into the ship there. So it's not optimal. Unless I could somehow put another cockpit portion behind it there. I don't think it's possible to do it in such a way where just the tip of the lighting will stand out. I don't think this is possible. Not in a way I'm gonna like, but I want to try it. So the idea I have in mind here is to sink this in. I don't know where exactly it is right now, that's the problem. It starts stretching it out. I don't even know if this... Okay, that's the right length I'm looking for. Is just have somehow positioned in a way that the cockpit area is the only thing that sticks out. If I can do is somehow do this right. I don't know if it's possible, but I want to find out. Like, there's the cockpit area there. Now, just a matter of positioning it in a way where it continues on that metal trim, that stupid metal trim. I hate that goddamn metal trim. Can this work, though? I almost wonder if I want two components, actually. Now that I think of it. That way I don't have to stretch it as much. It might help a little bit. I honestly don't know, though. I honestly don't know what I'm looking for here. But there. That adds a little bit more to it. It's just not perfect. I don't even know. Am I just on a fool's errand trying to fix this, or is this actually leading to something? I honestly don't know. If I can at least line up in a way that works with the cockpit here, then that should be okay. Possibly. Looks awful. It honestly looks awful because of the harsh difference in the texturing. That's my complaint. And switching it to metal just makes it worse, so I honestly don't know where I'm going with this. And of course, yeah, it's at the point now where the metal trim's sticking out. That's the only thing I really hate about this. I feel like it loses a lot of what I can do with this damn thing. And of course, metal trim in the back starting to stick out. So maybe if I rotate it, maybe that helps some. That helps to some extent, but now I'm just noticing the other metal trim that's getting messed up. I can't win. And I'm too stubborn to try and give up on this right now. I don't know if this is doing anything. Do I actually... I probably should just delete it. It's not bad ultimately there. It just doesn't serve the function I want, or at least it doesn't look like it serves it. It is a continuation of lights at least there. That looks like it adds a little bit more, but not much else. That's pretty much it. So I guess I can hope for the best. That's going to be enough maybe. It's not as impressive as I would like, to be honest. But then again, it doesn't need to look pretty. With the phaser pods, this thing, as I fix up these cans here, because I think I adjusted those already and I know what I want, or have a good idea of what I want, these phaser pods are nothing to laugh about. So I don't think anyone wants to mock how this pulverized or exterminator even looks. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that, because especially since no one else actually has weapons even close to it. So just scaling it a tiny bit more, so that way it doesn't look as rough there. Let's see, and hope that doesn't ruin too much in the process. Okay, that's 96. There, how does that look on the back? Okay, not too terribly bad. Not a little bit of a lost metal trim there, but I don't think it ruined anything. Oh, it maybe ruined a tiny bit here. So let me just adjust this, see if that doesn't... It moves everything though. Okay, that's not bad. I think we're okay. We're okay, folks. I think we're about to call a wrap there and focus on the weaponry now.